go to the game bird pen and rake and change out food and water there. And sometimes I'll collect caterpillars for enrichment. Sometimes we'll just feed herbs straight from the garden because we got one in the tassel pen. It's really fun to feed them enrichment. A lot of them get really excited about it, even though none of them are too comfortable with people, except for Nebula, our Coturnix quail. She's real sweet and she'll get pretty close. But then from there, go to the raptors, clean up their leftovers from the day before, and give them new food unless it's Sunday, because no predator in the wild eats every day. And they're pretty lucky to get 6 meals a week, let alone 7. And one of my favorite things that I've got the chance to do recently, and is becoming part of my daily routine, is working with our red-tailed hawk, Toby. Because glove training is a long and extensive process, because at the end of the day they are, these animals aren't just wild, the birds of prey, most of them are solitary as well. So, getting them socially used to, something else being in their space is pretty difficult. But Toby's been remarkably kind to me. And we run all kinds of educational programs here. That's some of my favorite stuff. The guided tours, the owl pellet dissections, the birds of prey program that I've seen Brendan and Lisa give, and then I will be giving myself once I get Toby comfortable enough with me.
So Fish and I have been working together here at the Bird Sanctuary to work through avian care and avian husbandry tasks. This has been Fish's first real experience working with animals, so I've been doing my best to get him as much hands-on opportunities with the birds as possible. We've been able to do some health checks on game birds, some health checks with raptors, and we just started this week to work with Fish and Toby on the glove. So Fish has been taking the red-tailed hawk out on the glove just once so far, but our goal will be that Fish can take Toby out all by himself by the end of his internship.
My mentoring with Brendan, I feel like, has been useful to me on a level that's kind of hard to describe, because yes, of course, there's the advice that he gives me, and the things that he directly tells me about how to perform my job, and all of that is extremely useful and has boosted my ability to work here specifically, but also seeing the way that he interacts with the birds, the way that he learns their individual personalities and finds the best way to move in their space that makes them comfortable and allows for his own safety. I feel like that's something that you can only really get with someone who really cares about the animals that they're taking care of. The level of advice and direct criticism and feedback, but also just being in the environment and the presence of someone who clearly not only has experience but carries a level of empathy.
So my day-to-day kind of starts at 9 a.m. every morning. I start by opening the gates, and then I come in here and I unlock all the doors, I open all the doors, and then I set up the cash register, and then I also do a weather thing. It's like a chart, and it tells you the temperature, the precipitation, and what the weather outside looks like. And then I'm also responsible for watering our herb garden and checking in on our monarch caterpillars that we have. And then throughout the day, I sell admissions, and then I help Kelly with Wild Wednesdays when I'm here on Wednesdays. And then I work on some schoolwork, and then I also help with little signage projects around the sanctuary. And then sometimes I get to help with avian care, but that's a small portion of my job here at the Bird Sanctuary. It was a very welcoming environment, and I feel like Lisa goes out of her way to make sure that I get the experience that I want and I'm not stuck in the store. Like this morning I actually got to go fishing, and I've gotten to help her put eye drops in Virginia, our great horned owl, and I think those are kind of some other cool things.
Sabrina has been great. Sabrina is our visitor experience intern, and this position works with our says, our visitors. So greeting people, orienting them to the site, being that friendly face and voice for people as they are here at the Bird Sanctuary, and teaching them about our site here and what we do. And any project I give her, she is willing and able and jumps right in, and just really capable in starting new things, and really wanting to experience all the things that she can here at the Bird Sanctuary.
So this summer I've been studying carabid beetles. They're also called ground beetles. And I'm studying their interactions with crop fields. Specifically, we have prairie strips in our fields, which are strips of native plants that are within the crops. And I'm looking at how those prairie strips affect the abundance and the distribution of the beetles within the fields. So whether there's more beetles near the strips or further away, and if there's more species than fields without the prairie strips. I think the mentor process has been great. Namir has been a huge help to me. I wouldn't be able to do the things I've done without him. He's really helped me every step of the way in terms of learning what I want to do, how I'm going to do it, and then how I'm going to process my results and interpret them, as well as all the sorts of administrative stuff that is really helpful for projects like this.
This summer, I've been helping Annabelle McCarthy with her project on cabbage whites and cabbage white fitness. And my project for the summer is looking at clay caterpillar predation to test butterfly fitness in the prairie strips. I've loved getting to know Annabelle over the summer. She's my mentor, and she has helped me so much with all the field work and just being an awesome friend too.
The process has been really fun. I really like working with Jordan. She's really responsible and so put together and always on top of things, and she's just been really great to work with, and I'm really excited that we get to do this together.
I'm one of the resident mentors here this summer at KBS. I'm also a research tech in the Haddad lab, and I'm doing my research on bumblebee species. I love the bees. Seeing what if the road presence influences their abundance and diversity. Other than that, I'm doing a lot of field work with the grad students in the Haddad lab.